Welcome into another episode of BTC Beyond the Console. I'm your host, Joshua J.
And I'm your co-host, Obsidian Hood, Punmaster.
And we're here to talk to you about everything games here in the Samtastic Studios. Go to Samtastic for all your video and audio needs. Alright, so today we have 4 items on our list.
That you know of.
We might add more. But as far as the actual items we're talking about 4 items. I will say there's going to be spoilers in this. We're going to be talking about God of War, spoilers, huge spoiler cast, as well as the game A Way Out. We're going to have spoilers on that game as well.
So many spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, watch this anyway, please.
I'll let you know when the spoilers are coming up. You can skip ahead. We'll give you a time frame for that, and we can go ahead and keep watching the rest of it.
Yeah.
So, first up is a PSVR game.
PSVR game. Also, I have to put this in here. We're going to have a counter of how many times I fixed my hair this episode, because way too many last episode. Anyway, so I have a VR game first up on the list for PlayStation VR, and you guys may have heard of it. It's called Firewall. Now, I am super, super excited about this game. Very excited. I've been following it for a while, and basically what it is now, how much do you know about Firewall?
Not much. I saw a trailer for it, and this guy ducked behind a pool table, grenade landed, he grabbed a grenade, threw it back, it exploded. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't really look much into it, but I'm excited for it because you've been telling me about it.
That's cool. So basically, Firewall is going to be basically a VR version almost of Rainbow Six Siege. They've been saying that they built it from the ground up just for VR, and that, their inspiration for it was that, there wasn't really a good tactical VR shooter game on the market. And so they really wanted to go after that kind of year one Rainbow Six Siege, very tactical based game. So that is definitely going to be really cool. It's going to be basically mostly multiplayer focused. Same type of playstyle. You're going to have a briefcase, going to have mines, different things like that to set up, maze-like halls, all that cool stuff. Now, Adam Orth, creative strategist at the studio, told Variety that the team was pondering what to do next after creating some of these other games they've done. And he said, "We just wanted to solve the VR problems of locomotion, multiplayer, and comfort. The team has a really strong FPS lineage, so we looked at the landscape and said, these are the things we want to solve. This is what is missing." So they've really worked on making sure that you're not going to get that nausea that you might feel with some other games. Even if you use a controller, they're saying that you won't feel nauseous with the VR.
So how are you going to move? Is it going to be like a point and click and you just teleport there, or do you actually move with analog sticks, or how does the movement work? Do you know yet, or is it? I thought it was more of a point and click, or is it kind of optional?
So from what I can tell, they're making it sound like it is a movement-based game. You have full control to move, where you can use either a standard PlayStation controller or the AIM controller, which I need to get that. Looks really cool. But so yeah, it's looking like you can just move freely and
That's really
use
cool.
that.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
How much
really
do you know how much it's going to cost? Is it going to be a normal $60, or is it going to be a $40 game?
I do not know how much it's going to cost. I would guess it's going to be, I would have to, it's tough. I'm going to say $60 because they're really hyping it up and they've been working on it for a long time.
Okay.
So I could see it being a $60 game, and I'd probably pay that for it. Looks pretty sweet.
Have they released it? Do you know, or
They have not released it. There is no release date that I know of yet. But some people, the good people at Variety, give us money. The good people at Variety have already played it, and they said it was a very fantastic game. So it's probably, it will probably be at E3 this year.
A $40 to $60 game, and that would be cool if they show a more E3 trailer, or
maybe a demo.
They have a demo, actual you can actually play, do interactions with it at the E3 booth. I don't know if they have a booth at E3 or not, but
maybe.
Which E3 is that going on this week?
It might be next week. No, because it'd be in June. It's always June.
You're right. So I think we're a week away. Because this is Monday for you guys. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes.
Actually, everybody, happy Memorial Day. Don't want to miss that. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And you got a short week. You only got 4 days in your work week, most of you. Take time to thank those out there that served our country. To everyone out there that has served, thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So we talked about the PlayStation VR. We talked about that game. I'm excited for that.
It's exciting.
Look at that, a war game, right, for Memorial Day. Very beginning.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. I didn't even plan that. Boom. We're just that good.
There you go.
There you go. Boom. Roasted.
Okay. Number 2 on the list, we have Battlefield 5 trailer released.
Oh,
It looked amazing. I suggest everybody go watch it.
watch it.
It's a World War II.
Watch
it's
it.
really great. Did you
Wait. Don't leave right now. I see you, Timmy. Don't leave. Finish us first, then go watch it. There you go. Yeah.
Did you... Sorry. Did you hear about... I'm sorry.
You good there? I totally just made him lose it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
Was really good. I'll talk about it later. So,
Blooper.
Polygon. Okay, so a lot of people
Hexagon?
wrote in. No, a lot of people wrote in and said that they didn't like how there was a girl on the cover of the Battlefield 5 because it's not historically accurate to the war, which they'd be wrong about that. There were a lot of women who partook in war efforts as well that fought and died in World War II.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should change it at all.
No.
Now, some people might, well, they're just trying to be politically correct and what? Well, no. I mean, they need to be honored.
Yeah.
They fought, they served, they died, and it's they
historically
created
correct.
the game. It is. It's actually very correct. And I mean, they created the game. If they wanted to put a monkey on the cover, they could do that because it's their game.
Yeah, there could be a true story about a war monkey that helps them
There's
out.
already hate. So
The
I'm
bear.
excited for the
They
game.
didn't include the bear. Put the bear in Battlefield 5, guys. Sorry. Just there's an article about it. I kind of skimmed through it. There's something about like people are upset that because they took the time to include women in the game that they should have included. Apparently there was like bears that helped them. I don't know. It's some big thing online. I don't know. I just had to bring that up.
If you guys know about it, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah.
At beyondtheconsoleq@gmail.com.
Boom.
I never heard about the bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Sweet.
more you know.
Free the bear.
Free the bear.
So, all right. Number 3 on the report. Here's the thing. This is where spoilers come in. I'm going to just go ahead, have you guys skip forward. We're going to do 15 minutes. Skip forward 15 minutes if you don't want to hear anything spoilers about God of War. And if you do, then stay here and listen. All right. You're good to start and go.
You guys left yet? You guys left?
If they
Are you
didn't,
sure?
I told them to. They
Looking
better
at you.
have
You
left.
better.
Last
You've
chance.
been warned.
All right, everybody left.
Okay. Atreus is Loki. Oh my goodness. What?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was too. I saw a huge podcast about it, so I would be able to be caught up with you since I didn't have time to play the game. I wanted to tell you when I found out, but I was like, no.
So glad you didn't, because that literally made the end of the game for me. I was playing it and I was like, this is a good ending, and then I was like, excuse me, what? It's like that GIF of the blonde guy that's like, what?
All
Yeah.
right, start to finish.
Sorry, guys.
You
Yeah, it's
got-
like
you
that's
got-
the end. That's like the end. But
You got to take us
Yeah.
through your progression of the game. Tell us
Progression of the
your
game.
thoughts about it, and even the spoilers. Just like let the spoilers flow. It doesn't have to be just spoilers, but I mean, just take us. Take us through the game as you played it.
so yeah, man, started playing it. Just the first thing that grabbed me, I think I talked about it on a previous podcast, probably when I just started playing it, was that just the camera. You load up the menu, you hit start, doesn't load. It just goes straight into the first cutscene. It's crazy. So that just grabbed me right away. That was crazy. Graphics, beautiful, amazing. Started out, and I could definitely tell right away. It was a very subtle game. Like it had a lot of subtle just things. Like I've never played any of the other God of War games, but from the first scene, I could just tell that this Kratos is damaged. Like he's been through stuff, you know. He's lived a life.
Well, they said it was a lot different from the other ones, and the other ones, like, you're always slashing, stabbing, like cutting people in half, ripping them apart. It's all about how brutal you are. And in this one, they said it takes more of like a grown-up role. Like he's a father. He is responsible.
He's grown from the warrior into the dad. Yeah.
That's cool.
And somehow moved realms or places because stuff. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Now, can you jump into this God of War without having to play the other ones? Like, were you able to keep up with all the story?
Oh, for sure. Like, even the things, there's definitely callbacks to the other ones, I'm assuming, from previous stories. But I never felt confused. Like, anytime that they mentioned something that I didn't get, I just assumed, okay, that's something in his past. And then pretty much everything they explained. Like, everything eventually down the road they explained. There were definitely some moments where something happened, and I was like...
Like what?
So, like, okay, let's skip into the middle of the game, but we can jump around.
Yeah, it's
spoiler cast. We can do whatever we want, because we're that cool. But, no, we get to the middle of the game, and Kratos' son, Atreus, falls ill, which they've mentioned throughout the whole first part of the game. They mentioned he gets sick. He didn't know what that meant, but his son gets sick. He's, unconscious. He's knocked out. So he has to go on this mission, Kratos does, to gather something to help heal his son. And for a lack of better words, he basically decides it's time to go back to basics. He goes back to his house. I'm like, okay, what's he doing? And he goes underneath his house, little tunnel, and he pulls out this chest. I was like, he's Arrow from Lian Yu. No, he's not. But, no, anyway, he pulls out the chest, and he pulls out these blades with chains attached to them, and the music kicks in, and you're like, ah! And now I've not played the other God of War games, but I just instantly felt attached to that. I was like, yes, this is supposed to be epic. This is awesome. Music kicks in, the full choir in the background. He wraps the chains up, which is actually a really cool thing. Jumping back to the beginning, the first thing he does after he cuts down a tree is he slowly wraps these bracers around his wrists, and then he gets the chains, the blades, and then he wraps the blades around in the same way. You're like, yes.
Well, a lot of people said that you start out with an axe, right?
Yes.
They said they started out and they were using an axe, and it's like, yes, this is fun, this is great.
Awesome.
But where are my blades?
It's a great axe. It feels like Mjolnir. It's really cool.
And they said it's like, they just have a lot of fun with it. They said, but then you get the blades.
Then you get the blades, and you're like, why did I ever have the axe?
But then I guess a lot of people said that it's easy to switch between them, and you're like, okay, right here I'm going to use blades, then go into an axe combo, and things like that. Is it pretty easy to combo them?
Yeah, switching into like the combat, it's really cool. Like how smart you have to be. Some enemies, the axe is basically just going to bounce off. It's not going to help you. So like you see an enemy like, oh snap, I gotta bring out the blades. You bring out the blades, do your awesome combos, and then another enemy jumps in. You're like, oh no, the blades aren't really going to be that effective on them. Maybe they're like a fire, crazy golem fire thing. And you're like, oh, the axe is going to help. So it's really cool just to combo those.
So they do that really well, intertwining them, making them work really well together, rather than you like, oh, I got to choose either this or this. It's more of a, in the middle of a fight, you're switching between weapons, trying to figure out what's going to be best.
For sure. And yeah, it's really hard. I'm not sure I had a favorite. Like, they both were just that cool. Like, awesome. Like, I didn't go to one and be like, oh, I'm disappointed I can't use this one. Both of them were just that
So one's not better than the other, they actually complement each other.
Yeah, although the blades are pretty cool. I always like dual wielding, so...
Sounds like you have a favorite.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
51 to 49%.
52, 48.
52 to 48.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. But yeah, so... Yeah, just jumping in those moments. Yeah, you definitely don't have to play the other games to understand this. I'm sure it helps, but I never felt lost or... Yeah, in a way, I was glad because you're almost then following it from the perspective of the son who doesn't know anything about his father's past. And as the game unfolds, you find out more things, and so does the son. So
the boat scene.
The boat scene. Now, I remember this specifically because we were talking about it, and you already saw the spoiler cast. I wasn't super far in the game, and you're like, have you gotten to the boat yet? And I was like, brah, the whole game's a boat. You're in a boat the whole game. And then I got to the boat, and I knew what you were talking about. Because the boat.
Spoiler. What'd you think?
Spoilers. The boat was... That was crazy. That was just.
Did you continue to sail around just to hear him talk? I know a couple of people didn't necessarily go right where they needed to go.
Go right where you need to go. Okay, so maybe we're not talking about the same boat scene then. Just to make sure.
They're talking, right?
Who is this is spoiler cast. You can say whatever you want.
Who is talking? It's your spoiler cast.
No, who is talking? I need to know because it could be. No,
wasn't
seriously.
it him and his son?
Son? Okay. Man, now I'm back where I started. They literally are on a boat for most of the game. That's how you get around. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was there's a point.
This is why
where
you play the game.
There's a point where they're talking, and you literally just they sailed around and they didn't want to. The guy at he was able to go and play it. He was able to go and do a demo for it, things like that. And the guy walked up to him and goes, "Hey, why aren't you going where you need to go? It's over here." And he's like, "Oh no, I know where it's at. I want to hear the story." And it was just such an in-depth. It's such in-depth dialogue that he didn't feel the need to just rush right to where he was supposed to go next.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about more now. So it's not a specific point in the game, right?
There's two different points. There's one, it's just a normal you're on the boat in the dialogue, but then there is that main scene that I think you were getting ready to explain. The one I'm talking about is where you're just sailing around and they're talking, and there's not action on the boat. It's not like there's fighting, and that's what they really like. They were able to focus on the dialogue.
Oh yeah.
Rather than having to rely on all this action.
And that's actually a really cool thing. Which is mixed in throughout the whole game. It's not specifically one part of the game. Pretty much, I don't think there was ever a time where I got in our boat to sail and go to another location where they didn't start talking and having real conversations. I was like, okay, I don't want to go here. I just want to chill in the middle of the water and listen to them talk.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, so that happens the whole game. It's crazy.
That's really cool.
You go anywhere, not even on a main mission, side quest. He'll just he'll be like, "Hey, Mimir," Mimir.
Spoil it.
Spoilers. Decapitated. Mimir. You first meet him, you're like, okay, this guy is cool. He's got a whatever accent. I don't want to offend people, so I don't want to guess. But he's got a cool accent. He's talking. He's on a tree.
Can you try and do the accent?
No, I will not. Because I will. If I do, everyone except Timmy will leave.
Do it.
No.
Do the accent. Come on.
So maybe later. But we just got. Yes. Right. Anyway, so you meet him. He's like, okay, I can help you. I'm smart. I have knowledge. But long story short, you gotta have a companion on a journey that helps you, guide you in terms of video game stuffness. So Kratos is like, well, in rare form, Mimir is annoying Kratos, and Kratos is like, I'm gonna cut your head off now, okay? So cuts his head off, puts it on his belt, and he's essentially your what am I thinking of here? He's essentially your Alfred to Arkham, or your
Does he still talk when his
Cortana to
head's cut
Halo.
off?
Oh yeah, he talks the whole game.
What?
He gives you you have there's a whole section where you can go on a boat ride and Atreus will ask him something.
Santa Clarita
and you
diet.
listen.
Oh, sorry. That was a spoiler for a show.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe we'll have to do a podcast on that show once. I remember when I first walked into you watching that.
Anyway,
That was
going.
fun. Anyway, no. Yeah, so you'll ask him a question and it'll tell you this whole story and it gets added to the lore that you know then. Like you can uncover whole backstories that if you didn't stay and listen and not go to shore, you would never know about these other characters and stuff. So it's crazy. Yeah.
Now, do you get to cut his head off, or is it more of a cutscene?
That's very early in the game, but from what I remember, I honestly can't remember. I feel like because they do a lot of seamless things where it transitions, and then you'll press R2 to swing your axe, even though it's part of a cutscene. So I can't remember if you actually pull the trigger and swing the axe, or if it just does it in the cutscene. I can't remember. If you guys know, hit us up at beyondtheconsoleq@gmail.com, because I just don't remember.
Or comment it below.
Or below, yeah, right here, below, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so you go through the World Serpent. Can't mention this game without talking about the World Serpent.
You gotta hurry. You gotta.
I gotta hurry. I've already gone over time. Oh my goodness.
No, you haven't gone over time yet. I gave you 15 minutes.
This is a beefy game.
And you've been on
guys.
for 12.
This is a beefy game, guys. World Serpent. All I gotta say about it, huge, crazy. Thought you were gonna have to fight him.
Huge.
Yes, huge. Trust me, it's a great game.
I know World Serpents. Okay.
I know God of War. Nobody knows it like I do. Trust me, it's great. Anyway, no, it's crazy. That this is a game you want your controller to vibrate, to shake for, because when he talks, your whole controller shakes and you feel like you're there. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
So yes, Baldur, the I Feel Nothing guy. Conor McGregor. No, but so you guys know Baldur. He's mostly your main antagonist throughout the whole game. One of the sons of Odin, something like that. But basically, he can't feel pain. He's immortal. He can't feel pain. He starts out, you're like, oh, this annoying dude. He's your first fight. Like, this guy's annoying. He shows up again, and then they actually make you feel sad for him. And I was like, really? Now I can't feel annoyed when I fight him.
Black Panther. Spoiler.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Black Panther, Killmonger. Although Killmonger's still a better villain. But, yeah, so yeah, great stuff there. Great boss fights. Man.
So what's the main point of the game?
The
Like,
main
what do you
point
have
of
to
the
do?
game.
What's the whole
So,
plot? If you could sum it
The
up in a
really
few
cool
words.
thing about the main point of the game is it's basically just a road trip. The whole game is a road trip story. Atreus and his father, they're trying to get to the top of the tallest mountain to spread the ashes of Kratos' wife, who died. That's basically all it is, but along the journey you find, you run into all these things, and then you find out, oh, this is not the tallest peak, it's in Jotunheim, the giants, land of the giants, which leads us to the end, which...
As you're climbing up the mountain.
So this game is just so unique. The boss fight happens, the final boss fight happens, but that's not the end of the game. The end of the game is just dialogue between you and your son going to Jotunheim. I got to Jotunheim, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the final boss, and then it didn't happen. It didn't.
There was no boss fight.
There was setup for a sequel. Oh my goodness! You get there and you realize, and I was actually watching a spoiler cast on this. It was really interesting. The director of the game was explaining this more. So throughout the whole game, like points you can climb on. Video games have that thing. You'll have a certain color. Okay, I can climb here. I can interact here. Well, you get to Jotunheim and you find a handprint that's glowing, which is the wife's handprint, the mother's handprint, and it's the same color as all those points of interest. So, and along the way, you find out the mother was a giant. The giants have the ability to see into the future, see different things like that, past, present, future, that kind of thing. So it's basically like it's this huge revelation. You realize this whole game, the wife knew this was where they had to go. She walked the entire way that you went in the game first, because she knew this was going to happen.
Okay, real quick, gotta stop you
Boom.
here. It's been 15 minutes. Do you need a minute longer to finish up what you're
I need a minute longer, man. I gotta talk about that secret ending, man.
Alright,
That secret ending.
everybody skip ahead. 1 more minute, starting now.
Okay, I hope you guys are gone because we're getting into this. So yeah, anyway, you realize she's walked this whole path. But anyway, you see these paintings, these murals done by the giants, and you see, basically their whole journey up until this point in these paintings, which is crazy. And then there's a painting that Atreus does not see. It's covered by cloth that Kratos pulls back and sees, and it is essentially Kratos with some sort of snake coming out of him, and Atreus is holding his father's lifeless body. Which is crazy. But yeah, so they get to the top, and then the bomb happens. Atreus says, "There's one thing they got wrong. I don't understand. They called me Loki," which makes you wonder about some things, who Loki's father normally is. But
And then you
I have
can
some
go
thoughts
back
about
home,
that.
right?
But then
The post game?
Then you go back home, and you sleep, and you're like, what? And then it says, like, 5 years later, 2 years later, something like that. And lightning happens, you come out of the house.
Wait. Skip ahead 30 more seconds.
I need more time, it's so cool. Anyway,
Go.
bye. Bye, people that don't like spoilers. Lightning happens, you come out of the house, this awesome Darth Sidious looking guy in a cloak lands on the ground from flying in. Lightning's all around him, he's got a hood up, you don't see his face. and then he pulls back his cloak, and you see Thor's hammer. And then it cuts back, and Atreus says, I had this dream. Thor showed up. It felt so real. And Kratos was like, it was a dream. You'll worry about the future when it comes. And that's the end of the game. Now, there's other endgame stuff, but that's the main story.
Perfect timing after a few extra minute or two.
Perfect. So overall, play God of War. It's a great game. 10 out of 10. You need to play it. It's great. Yeah.
There you go.
It's my spoiler cast on it.
Spoiler cast of God of War. Alright, I'm going to take this moment real quick to introduce everybody to another sponsor called Zoom Benefits. We talked about them last week. Zoom Benefits is here to help you guys get lower car insurance as well as cell phone payments, things like that. All you guys have to do is text all you gotta do is text Zoom 58160 to the number 38521 decal. Again, text Zoom 58160 to the number 38521 decal. And when you do that, you guys are going to get 33% off, 30 to 33% off your membership. So go there, hit it up, see what all they have to offer you, see what they can do for you, see what discounts they can offer you guys. All right, now that that's out of the way, we are going to start talking about...
Sorry, I just completely zoned out there, and then you were like, all right, brought me back in, sorry.
All right, A Way Out.
Oh,
we're going to be talking about, we're going to spoil A Way Out. So those of you that don't want to listen to this spoiler cast, go ahead, and I'm going to have you guys skip past about 15 minutes. We'll do 15 minutes again, and if we have to, we'll let you guys know more about that as well. Yeah, starting now. All right, so now that they've all left, here's the thing. A Way Out is one of the craziest games that I've played. We played through it together.
Yeah. And it feels weird saying a game like A Way Out is one of the craziest games I've played. But it really is.
It really is such a good game. His name, he was Vincent. I was Leo.
Vincent for life.
So
totally, for the most part. Yeah. Totally identified. It's pretty cool.
Alright, I'm going to give you the backstory of Leo real quick, my character. So, the character I was playing he was a part of a gang that went and stole a really valuable diamond and went to peddle it off and sell it. Well, when they went to sell it, his best buddy turned on him, shot the guy that was going to buy it, and took the money and took the diamond and then framed me for everything that happened. Left me there, and I was captured and I was thrown in jail. Been there 6 months.
Harsh, man.
And then I met
Vincent, as you find out, pretty close to the beginning of the game, Vincent was just he's a normal dude. He wasn't maybe as rough around the edges as Leo, but he got collared for more white collar crime stuff with banks and money laundering and that kind of thing, and he got involved with a guy that
same guy.
I was gonna make the reveal, but it's cool. It's cool.
Same guy that framed
Leo. You find out he got involved with him, thinking it was good money for his wife that he has. They're trying to have a baby, all that good stuff, and basically getting involved with him gets him caught and put in jail.
He's framed for killing his brother.
He is framed for killing his brother.
By that guy. I don't know
how I could forget. Yeah, because that guy, he gets framed just like Leo was framed, and I get framed for killing my brother. So we both have our reasons for wanting revenge on Harvey.
And
what a name, Harvey.
And they were put in cells right next to each other.
Which I have to say, out of the whole prison, that's extremely good luck. It's almost as if it wasn't coincidence, but that would be crazy. So
crazy.
Yep.
But what's really cool about it is you have to escape the prison. You have to do it together. Everything is a two-man job, even when it's not like crawling under a fence.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing is, we're standing there in a cell. I have a file. We gotta open up the bag. You gotta take out the toilet and crawl behind all
That
this
was one of the
things.
most intense parts.
It really
I
was
remember
because
that, yeah.
his character has to lean look past all the bars and things like that, and it's like, okay, Leo, go for it. So I start trying to dig out and everything, and then I do, and he's like, wait, the cops are coming. So then I stand back up and like, hey, go to sleep, prisoner, and then I do it for him. Long story short, we escape prison. We find ourselves at an not abandoned farm, at a farm, and there's an old couple there, and you can choose whether to go Vincent's way and not harm them and make the horses run away, they'll chase them, or tie him up my way and
Which
put
I
him
have
in
to
a
say,
closet.
we both unanimously agreed his way.
Tie him up.
It was cooler.
It was cool.
It was cooler.
So you go there, you fix up a truck, you can play instruments. It's really cool. You can just do all these really awesome things that are just pointless. But you can do it. You can go to the moon.
Remember, I saw that and I'm so upset that we didn't find it.
I know.
I'm so upset. But we unlocked a secret hidden scene. That's how crazy it is. You can just do random stuff. We unlocked a crazy, not connected to the story, completely random, just actual separate cutscene. We were like, oh, you can play guitar, you can play piano. So we sat down, we're playing together, and then
It cutscene, and they actually did like a little jam together. It was really cool.
It was crazy.
Another one, we were at the hangar, and I opened up a door, and I'm like, oh, look, a helicopter.
That has to be my favorite, though.
So I walked over to the helicopter and did a cutscene again. He climbs in the helicopter, starts to take off, freaks out, lands back on the ground because my character's scared of heights, and was like, okay, I'm not doing that again.
Can we just talk about how great it is that because your character in the story is scared of heights, how great it is that whenever your character climbs up something, it literally will distort the screen and make it all
really
crazy.
does.
Where I'm cool. And can we talk about also how great it was that every choice we made without realizing it every time, it always put you in that situation first.
It did.
It was
And it
great.
didn't have to. We could have done it differently.
Great.
It just worked out
was
that way.
amazing.
So, you get out of jail, you repair a truck, you drive away from the cops, you go down a river, and you're falling, you're trying to survive, you start running, and all of a sudden, you come across, you're trying to figure out where the Harvey is, and you come across a construction site where one of his main guys is working. So you go in, and you're like, we need to talk to your foreman, and you get to go talk to him, and he starts to run, you chase him down, you use nail guns, torches, things like that to torture him.
That was a good chase.
It was a lot.
That was a fun chase.
But you torture him. It's a fun game.
I liked the wallet option the best. And if you notice, that was the option that made him crack. Right after the wallet, he was like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
That one, I thought the wallet was gonna be money. I didn't.
It was his family.
Yeah, that was.
You threatened his family.
I'm sorry. I thought it was gonna be different. I'm sorry.
So
I'm not that bad of a person.
But you go, you threaten him. He tells you where Harvey is. So then you both start going, and you're like, okay, we gotta go find Harvey. So we go to Harvey's secret hideout, shoot a bunch of guys,
Man, that was
kill a bunch of guys, and then we walk in, and we're both talking of how we should do this. And we're like, okay, you know what? Leo's gonna confront him about, betraying him. So I go up, and I'm like, man, how could you betray me? I can't believe you, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, open the safe. And I throw him over to the safe. He opens, gets the diamond. Well, of course, he has a gun in the safe. Grabs the pistol, sticks it to my head. And so I'm standing there, and I click the analog stick and make my guy lean. And when I do...
Perfect teamwork. I have a gun. Boom! Called the Scorpio, Flashpoint reference. And just...
You missed him, though. That's the crazy part.
No, I didn't.
He didn't
What's that?
shoot at the head. You were supposed to shoot him in the head. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
way this game
Oh,
works is
yeah.
where you aim is where it was going to hit him.
Yeah, so it changed the cutscene. I was supposed to shoot him in the head. I shot him, and I aimed
Nicked
down a
his
little bit
neck.
because of the way that he was angled. I didn't think I had a clear shot. Shot him in the neck, and it showed, it changed the way it happened. It was crazy.
So blood starts blurring. He grabs his neck, kind of stumbles backwards. I pick up my gun, and we just
And then it just becomes
riddle him with
Rambo.
balls.
Just,
Just
uh,
constantly falls backwards out a window, lands in the
but,
water.
at least he had a soft landing. You landed in the swimming pool. So, it's not all bad. And it was sad though. I felt bad at that point because we chose his option, which could let Leo confront him. But I felt like then I didn't get that confrontation with me confronting him for my brother's death, which I was like, well, that's a little weird. That was my first thing. At first, I was like, I don't know if I like that.
Which it would have been different. You would have confirmed him.
Yeah,
had I
that
known.
would have been different. But I was like, I don't know if I like that. It doesn't make sense. But okay, I'll let it slide.
So we hop on dirt bikes. We're starting to get away. It's really cool chase scene. People are shooting at us. We're trying to get away. And we hop in Emily's plane. She was the woman that actually
Shout
dropped us
out.
off.
Shout out to Emily.
What up,
she's
Emily?
pilot.
So we got in her plane. We're flying back. And meanwhile, him and his wife have been arguing because she says what he's doing is going to get him killed. And he's like, I got to do this. I got to do this one thing for his brother.
Yeah, yes. It's implied, I have to avenge my brother's death, so you think, oh no, this revenge is, to her it's taking him too far. He's becoming more, doing more illegal things that he shouldn't have been doing in the first place, which is what got him in jail.
So we start flying back, and I say, man, you got to write a letter to your wife. Trust me, it'll help.
Oh my goodness, we're completely leaving out that amazing hospital scene.
They have a kid. They have their baby.
That's not this. Yes, comes after that. Yeah.
It turns into
yeah.
what is it, a side scroller?
Oh yeah. So we have the baby, then the police show up, and we're separated because he's like, "I'm gonna give you two space," and so I'm still in the room. He's outside, and what's crazy is I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be like Batman and hop out the window," and it happened. So like the whole chase scene, I'm just sneaking around, going on rooftops, windows. Where he gets the awesome.
I turned into like Street Fighter or something. Like I'm walking down, kind of doing the weird walk thing. All the cops are coming. I'm like kick, punch, smack, and it's like it turns into Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And you beat up the cops as you go along, and I'm like, that is actually really cool.
That lamp though. You just threw
lamp. Through the lamp, busted the cop in the head.
Oof.
So we go on, we get out, and that's when we go to his buddy Emily, the pilot, and she's the one that gave us the ride to the outpost and then picked us back up.
I picked us back up.
And so we're flying back. He wrote the letter, and I go to sleep on our way back, and it's nighttime. We land the plane.
And interjection. You know how I was saying I didn't really like how, he didn't get that confrontation, and I was like, well, that's weird, but I guess I'll let it slide. And then, you think, okay, so this guy is going down farther the path of being a criminal. His wife doesn't like that.
Wait.
Plot twist.
Wait. We land the plane. The cops surround us. I think, crap. We're both ticked. The pilot done sold us out.
Yep. We were both upset.
The pilot sold us out. The guy walks up, the main cop, we have our hands up, takes the diamond, and out of nowhere, this guy, you tell him what you did.
This guy, yours truly, keep in mind, we were both upset. We were both in the dark here. We didn't know.
I don't think we were. I think you knew the entire game.
I promise I did not know. I didn't know anything about this game. It was not hinted at. It kind of was now that you think about it in retrospect, but you wouldn't have thought of it your first time through. This guy, the cop walks up, hands me the gun, and says, "Good work, Vincent." And boom, plot twist. I was an FBI agent whose brother did die, but my brother died in the same operation that got him framed that went wrong because of him and Harvey. Boom.
Harvey, okay, so it was a sting operation. They were going to catch me and Harvey selling the diamond to his brother, who was also a cop. So when Harvey decided to put a bullet in his head, this guy was right down the street listening with on a monitor and with earphones, heard the shots, ran up. My guy's laying on the ground, knocked out. His brother's dead. He's only his brother going, no, why'd I put him up to it? I shouldn't have. I got him killed. And then I get arrested, and Vincent goes, just put me in a cell next to him. I'll find the diamond. I'll find Harvey. We'll arrest him. We'll get it done.
And that's when the game just gets so much better, because you realize this whole time, without yourself knowing it, you've been an undercover FBI agent who always was planning to betray someone who now
is your best friend
in the game. It's crazy.
So you pull a gun on me. I don't like that too much. I start yelling, getting really mad because I've been betrayed by 2 friends now. Really sucks. So I smack the gun, grab it, I point it at him because I'm just good like that. I walk him over to a cop car. We get in the cop car. We're racing down. We wreck. We jump out. We start running around. We bust in to a factory. I'm running down the factory. Emily walks in with a gun. I knock the gun away. I point at her. I tell her, get out or I will kill her. She's not a part of this because she is a cop as well. I said, this is between me and Vincent. So she leaves. And then it gives me a health bar.
This is the time. This is the point. The whole game was good. I would have said if you'd asked me until then, it was a fun game. Like, I had fun with it. And then we both walk into this building on opposite sides. It cuts the gameplay, and we both have health bars. Up until now, we've been playing, you always play together, helping each other. And then you both walk in with health bars.
So the dialogue's crazy. They're yelling, they're cussing, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They start shooting back and forth, and you actually have to shoot each other. So now we're trying to fight against each other.
And now we're both in it for ourselves. Like, I don't want to die. Like, I don't want him to win.
And I told him, I said, dude, you betrayed me. We both felt hurt. Let me win. He goes,
No,
I'm a cop. You were wrong.
My brother died. Come on.
So we start fighting, and it ends up going to it. We knock each other's guns out of our hands. One gun's laying on the ledge, and we start hitting each other with our fists. And it starts going back and showing us memories, of me and my 10-year-old son and my wife, him and his newborn and his wife.
Each hit just shows a flashback.
Another flashback.
Yeah.
And then he had less health than me, and we start crawling towards the gun, and we have to tap the square button.
And I realize as it's happening, I'm tapping this as fast as I can. Why is he getting there faster? And I realize it's because I have less health. He's gonna get there first.
Get the gun, and it goes slow-mo. The time stops.
The raindrops are in the air, frozen.
And I pull the trigger, and I shoot him. He falls back, he leans against the wall, and that's been 15 minutes. Don't worry, we'll continue. Skip ahead at least 3 more minutes, guys. Sorry.
We got it.
We're new at this whole time thing, yeah. Thank you. So, I shoot him. He falls down. He's leaning up against the wall. I walk over to him. He pulls out his letter, blood-stained, and goes, make sure you give this to my wife. And then he dies.
And then he hands it to you. You both kind of grasp your hand. Boom. The theme music for the game kicks in. And it dies. And it slowly but surely, as my eyes close, my side of the screen fades to black. And it just transitions. Only his character, only his screen is left.
So it shows a cutscene of my guy driving to his wife's house, laying the letter on the ground, knocking on the door, going back, getting in my car, getting my wife and child, and we leave town. Shows her open the door, she gets it, she reads the letter about how he's sorry, he loves her, if she'll give him another chance, he'll be the best man he can, and he's going to give up being a cop. And she starts to cry, then it shows they're at his funeral, they do the 21 gun salute, she gets the flag, and it ends.
And your guy, of course, gets to go with his family.
Yeah.
So, so bittersweet.
We reversed the rules.
No.
So
stuck on this first time.
So we were sad.
We were very, we wanted to watch a comedy after that. And we were going to. And then we were like, what is life? I don't even want to watch a comedy. I don't feel like it. This is just sad.
So then, we're like, well, let's see what the other ending was. Even worse. I die. I'm laying there.
So much worse.
He walks over. He just grabs my hand. No words are exchanged. He just holds my hand till I die. So I don't die alone.
Same music kicks in. It's amazing.
Cuts to his cutscene.
Which is so much worse because then I have to go. So he just had to talk. He just walked up, rang the doorbell, put the letter down, and then, like a little coward that he was, went to his car and drove away. I had to go. I went to his character's girlfriend's or wife's trailer. I walk in, the dialogue cuts out, just fades out, it goes to music. You see him through the window where I have to tell his wife and son that I was
the son went to play basketball.
Well, the son went to play basketball. And I had a previous connection with the son in the story. Like, you already had a connection. The son leaves, and you have to tell the wife that basically I killed your husband.
And she just collapses. You just see her collapse.
Yeah. And then I have to walk out and then look his son in the eye and say, I'm sorry. And
the boy hears his mom crying. He's like, Mom, what's wrong? And runs in.
And then I just walk away.
and then it cuts to them.
And I have and then I'm sitting with my wife and baby, but I don't feel happy because I'm so sad.
Then he goes back to his house, gives the letter, and she invites him in. They start there, but then it goes and it doesn't show a funeral for my character. It just shows a tombstone with my face. It says loving husband, loving father. Gives the date, and my wife's just kneeling down up there, and she's just crying softly. The son walks up, so she stands up, and they hug, and they walk off together. And that's the end of the game. And there's no oh, well, maybe if I just don't shoot. No, it's...
You have to.
You have
One of you is not walking out of there.
And it's sad.
It's crazy.
But that's what made the game so good. It tugged your heartstring, and you were like, oh, there's dust in the air, you know?
Yeah, like the whole game, you're like, oh, this is a fun game. There's all this random goofy stuff. And then all that, you realize, just built your character and your bond, and then you're just so...
It was just so intense. It was such a good game.
Yeah.
And we played that game like after we watched Infinity War, and we're like, well, let's have a fun game to play. No. Nope. The ending.
I'm just sad, even sadder. And then I go and I watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finale, and then I'm even sadder. Okay, just have to say this. I think my leg's broken. Sadder than I don't feel too good. That's all I have to say about that.
The inside jokes are real.
Yeah.
Not jokes, but...
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
All right, guys. Well...
I'm sad now. Why do we end on this note?
Be happy.
Be happy, because you get a day off work.
There you go. All right, guys. Have a happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's podcast. Leave a thumbs up, a like, subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at, Beyond the Console. And tell all your friends.
Yeah, tell everyone.
I've been your host, Joshua J.
I've been your host, Obsidian Hood.
Co-host. And we hope you guys have a wonderful time. And cut.